call to order the meeting of the Hanson Board of Health, Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. It is 4:03 and this meeting is being recorded. Roll call. Arlene Diaz.
Here.
Kevin Perkins.
Here.
And I'm here, Melissa Kennedy. All right. Should we start with our septic? Did you have a chance to look at it?
Copy. Alan, you want a copy?
Yeah. No, you know what? I'll share with us. Well, I don't want to pull it back. Okay. No, I was going to bring it up on my phone.
Gail, did you have any questions or comments?
No, it's a standard plan, the revisions have been made, and I don't see any really issues with it, it's looking for groundwater separation and use of the sieve. It's pretty good, it's a 43,000 square foot lot, excuse me, sorry. It's a good sized lot and everything, it's in good material.
You're going to have to speak up because the fan is loud.
Yeah,
I can't
I'm realizing that, so, yeah. So it's, at this time, I don't see any, any problems with it at all. So.
Kevin, any thoughts or questions?
No, pretty straightforward. They're looking for a 1 foot groundwater reduction from 5 feet to 4 feet so they can maintain a gravity system. Sieve analysis, because good materials in the water table, they can't perk it. No, I don't have any questions.
Arlene?
No?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan for 180 East Washington Street as proposed.
A second?
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
You're good.
With the run. Thank you.
Yeah, good one. Okay, 40?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. No, as long as they have me.
Do you have an installer for this already?
I'm sorry?
Is there an installer for this?
Yeah, Bob Brown, Robert Brown.
Yeah. He's good. I have to check. I can't say off the top of my head.
What was the question?
If he's thoroughly permitted, I can't answer if he's renewed yet.
Oh, okay.
It's super easy to do that though.
Okay.
So he's already been permitted.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Down the agenda. So let's approve the minutes from the February 13th and March 7th meetings.
Those were in the folder, I believe. They're right there.
Oh, we're right. Yeah. I know I saw them somewhere.
Oh, yeah,
I look at
I did look.
You're good with that?
Okay.
Okay. So I will take a motion for the approval of February 13th.
You want to do them separately?
That was for the 13th.
For the 13th?
Yeah, it was a motion to approve the 13th.
Okay. No, I was just asking it.
Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of the February 13th, 2023 meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
On aye.
I'll make a motion that we accept the March 7th, 2023 minutes.
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't there.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Okay. So next up is the reappointment of the animal inspector, Shirley Savage Kavicki. Apologize. So one question that I had was about the posting of the position, and
It's never been put, as long as I've been here, she's been the animal inspector, and she gets reappointed year after year. Here are her nomination papers, by the way.
For the last 60 years, previous to her, it's always been a veterinarian, Hanson Animal Hospital and VCA. It's never gone beyond that. Senator Finding was it for like 25 years, I think, before we got, she took over after him. And it's not something that everybody jumps into. It's just inspections, softwood animals and stuff, sheep, goats, and horses. Yes, it's, she is a little bit backwards on it, and,
She reports to the state too, right?
reports to the state. Nominations are through here, but she sends a report to the town of Hanson also.
That's on there.
so, one thing that came up is that we don't have reports for the last 2 years on file.
Yeah, that is the way it's been. I mean,
Did she
She's very-
ever do them in handwriting?
handwriting.
Yeah, she always has done them, and she hasn't sent those. She used to.
We had
Yeah.
2 years of no reports.
She used to do them. They were hard to read, but she used to. I don't know why she stopped. But she sends them to the state.
The bond book goes to the state. We never see the bond.
Yeah, we never see the barn book.
The bond book goes to the state. She must be up to date on that because they'd be on our case up to the point of the bond book was out.
Okay. What happens if we don't reappoint her, though?
Pardon?
What happens if we don't reappoint her? Who would they do it?
Who does it? Other towns end up doing it with a health agent, which doesn't work out very well in many towns. So,
I'm not suggesting we don't reappoint. I guess I'm just, I would like to have the file updated with the last 2 years of notes, if that is the process. Curious, is that the process, that we keep a copy of all of her interactions in the community?
Correct.
It really does seem like we need to have those in
Yeah.
hand in office.
Yes, agreed.
I was looking through what some of the past with quarantining. I want us to know what's going on in town.
Yeah, so, maybe the board could do,
Letter to her?
no, the board could, say that we need to receive reports, quarterly or something to that effect.
Yes, please.
When is their appointment actually, does it expire?
It does.
This was May 1st to April 30th that we're.
Right, and
for now.
they send them so late that
So
it doesn't
end of
really
April.
give you any time to kind of,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it says it had to be back April 1st, but we got it March 13th.
yeah.
And we had already had a meeting with her.
Melissa, a couple things. So I vaguely remember that this was just, it wasn't an issue, but it was a concern that it hadn't been advertised. Do you remember that, Arlene?
No.
That a posting was not put up or advertised for I remember there was something
No.
vaguely that was an issue like that.
Was it
As far
animal
as-
control or animal inspector?
Animal inspector that I thought someone had brought to the board's attention that it wasn't
No.
advertised or
No,
brought
I've
up.
never heard that.
No, what it was, we got that in late. And we received from the state the day that we were having a meeting.
Mhm.
And I updated the agenda, reappoint animal inspector, and I didn't put her name.
Right.
And somebody
Complained.
reported it to
Okay.
the state.
Okay. But just like any other position within the town, I would think that it's posted, it's advertised, so if someone did want to put in for it,
Yeah.
that,
I mean,
just like at the
and-
selectmen meetings, they announce it, that it's available, that it's advertised on the website, what vacancies there are, or what's coming up. for
I don't even
appointment.
know if there's a job description for that position.
No, and if
I'm just wondering, just to be
jobs
fair.
that don't require postings, like the weights and sealers, tree wardens, they don't post for those.
She doesn't-
They're appointed.
You don't have to repost, you have to post this. It's reappointment.
So the only thing I can say, so this is what I can say,
It's a
is
reappointment.
in the 10 years that I have been here, it hasn't been posted. I totally get what you're saying, Kevin. That can be done. I mean, there's no reason why it can't be posted.
I don't have concerns about reappointing someone, it's just that if that's procedure and that's what we're supposed to be doing, that we're supposed to put that out to the public, to anyone that
Right,
might be, because how can we, if we're just continually reappointing one person and no one knows about it,
Uh-huh.
that may be why we don't get any other applicants, or maybe
Yep.
that
I mean,
I
it's
just feel
totally
like,
valid point.
just to be fair, that maybe it should be posted on the website just like any other appointment or vacancy within the town. And then the other thing, if we do need to make an appointment, my recommendation would just be maybe to make a temp until next meeting, just so we can get a answer on reports and as to why we're not getting them, why they're not up to date, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that that sits well with the board before we make a permanent appointment for another year.
Yeah, it's hard to reappoint when part of the job hasn't been fulfilled.
Yeah, no,
Reappoint.
I totally get that.
Yeah, but we can't send this back because it's not a
So-
term. If we do it for a month.
One of the things I want to talk about is meeting frequency. So it may be that we can get this back in time, if we table to our next.
No, but it was supposed to be back to them by April 1st. If we're only gonna say extend her for a month, this
Oh, I
appointment,
didn't
we
realize
can't
that
sign that paper.
Yeah,
We can't sign this because it's not that whole term.
it's already late.
But it was
That's what I'm
late
saying.
when,
Yeah.
I mean,
We got it.
they give you no time
But the thing
to,
is, we got this came in after our meeting. Our meeting was
Yeah.
on the 7th. So we wouldn't have been able to, do it by the 1st.
Right.
But if we're only gonna extend it for a month, we also can't sign something saying that her term's gonna be May 1st of this year till April 30th of next year. So we can extend her for a month, we just cannot sign this return.
Right. So, I'm comfortable with extending her until our next meeting, whenever we decide that is.
so temporary reappointment?
Yes.
We have one for 16.
Pending her, and I guess we should touch base with her, Teresa, and let her know that we'd like the file updated prior to that next meeting. And then let's discuss at the next meeting as well, frequency and process for,
And I'll ask that she
Records.
attends the meeting.
that'd be great.
Oh,
Would you guys
yeah,
on
oh,
board with
yeah,
that?
oh, yeah.
You're good with that?
I'm good. Should we make a motion, take a vote on it? Probably should, right? Ali, do you want to, or you want me to? or-
First, we need to clarify the date of our next meeting. I have it for some reason as 16th.
I would look it up, but I can't. I believe
Because I
it
want to
is,
be able to extend it till that date.
I believe it is the 16th. Hold on,
I
let me
think
look at my
it's the 16th.
calendar.
That's what I have in my calendar.
It is the 16th.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. I will make a motion that we extend the animal inspectors.
Till the end of May at that point. Even if we just said May 31.
Good.
If you're not positive on the date, I'm just saying.
Oh, no, well, positive it's the 16th, that's not a
Well,
problem.
just in the event that if we did
May.
have something in the interim and we had to appoint someone, I don't know, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
just to
okay.
make it.
I'm gonna make a motion that we extend the, position of animal inspector until May 30th of 2023.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. All right, great. So Teresa, I'll give this back to you so we can get lost in the shuffle for next. All right. So the health agent performance appraisal format.
I just want to send an email to Steve. I have no network keys. I can't get into any of the networks. Thank you.
I believe the both of you, I think everyone, Gil, do you have a copy of it as well?
Everybody has a,
Everyone has a copy, okay.
We're gonna be able to modify this, right, the format? Well, only because this says health inspector and not health agent.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So we should take a peek at this together and make modifications. Then we'll have the document updated and disseminated to the three of us. So essentially, it's fairly customary as a part of employment nowadays, and really for many, many years, to have a performance appraisal yearly, annually. Gil, I'm not sure that you have had one in this role, maybe ever.
Well,
in this
private
role.
sector,
In this role.
Not at all.
So it might make sense it makes sense for us to do that and start that annually moving forward. And I don't know if you had a chance to read the content on the first page, but it spells out very clearly how this process works.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it would be helpful for us to go through it line by line.
I know that I got that page. I have this, but I mean, in the email, but I don't know if I got that first page that you're on, is that different? No?
This is exactly what I sent to Teresa.
What? I photocopied everything. Yeah, that's on the front of the, nope.
Oh, you know what? This might be what I brought from home. That's weird. Did you give us each a copy today?
I did. Yep. It was right in front of you.
Here, I have an extra copy. Use that one.
Okay.
So, just going down to the purpose of this is for the Board of Health to conduct a performance evaluation of the health agent in a manner defined in the health agent's contract, or as mutually agreed upon with the board member and health agent. So we're going to change this to agent instead of inspector.
Yes.
That is yours.
See if he responds to the email.
Your job title, Gil.
Mm-hmm.
The performance evaluation forms to be utilized are attached. The individual performance evaluation documents of board members are considered work products, personal documents, and shall not be publicly released. The only document to be released will be the overview document compiling the scores and comments provided by the chair. So the process, once we get this document as we want it, will be for each board member to complete their own individual copy separately from obviously the rest of the board and from Gil, and then provide it back to me so that Teresa can compile. Okay. And then there'll be a compilation of all of the scores and comments that will then become the product for the actual appraisal as a part of an open meeting. And I would like to propose that we have this done within a month.
Okay.
Within a month's time. So, to assist the board members in preparing their individual evaluations, the health agent will provide a summary of the accomplishments and activities which occurred in the review period. Gil, will you be able to work on that?
What page is that? You're still on the front page. Okay.
Under procedure. And once the board members have your summary, we can go about completing the form. And getting it back to the chair.
So we're not worried about this meeting date, anticipated that gray area. We're not setting it up for the next meeting or
Well,
not?
I think we should set it up for the 16th,
Okay.
so that it's not something that becomes
Open-ended.
Yeah, I think that there needs to be an end date. In accordance with provisions of the open meeting law, the individual board member evaluations will be shared with the health agent and part of his personnel file. However, the documents are not available for review by individual board members or the public. So
Okay,
it sounds like essentially, if there's three of us, if two of you can't.
look at every,
Yeah. I'll
Well,
see everything.
Others evaluate.
Correct. Anybody have any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions about the purpose, forms, and procedure and the language?
So the period, for the period you're doing it for, you got June 1st, 2022 to January 1st, 2023. So that's, change that, that's the third page.
Yeah. Oh, we're not there yet, Joe. Just the first page.
I just jumped to that.
I know you did.
Okay.
You're always throwing me a curveball, Joe. Always.
I must have separated the first two pages, because when I looked at it, I'm like, what is NO? Sometimes I see not applicable, but now I see it's not observed, okay?
So we're going to make the language consistent across this. It does jump around a bit and just make it health agent. So wherever you see Gil's position named as manager or inspector, we're just going to make
Yes,
it
yes, yes.
consistent to agent.
That's gonna have to come out.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have this in a format that's easy enough to change.
Yes. Looking through the different categories, do either of you or you, Gil, have any weigh in on whether there's a segment of your job, Gil, that is not well represented or requires language changes? We could, my take on that is we could certainly make some of these much more specific to our office and what Gil does on a day-to-day basis. But I think the comment section allows us to do that, as opposed to going through and literally rewording and reworking every line, which would be fairly tedious.
Yes.
But I'm certainly open to suggestions.
Yeah, I think anything with real specifics you can put down in the comment section.
Yeah, that's my thought.
That's fine.
Like this one? Would that be staff?
I think we would put an NO,
Okay.
which means it's really, I
Not
don't know what,
applicable.
not,
Yeah.
I would like to make that
NA, which,
I don't know what O stands for.
observed, not observed.
I think we can probably make
I
that.
think I think it would be easier to do NA for this. That's more readily acceptable for that section.
Yeah. Thoughts on that? It's really not
Well,
applicable.
yeah, that one should even know.
Whatever.
Okay.
And what was it on the third page? I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna get a clean version of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
just trying to follow.
On page, the one that says page 6, we were talking about mentioned department heads.
Well, and with the dates on it, I believe, right? For the period of what?
Oh, we hadn't gone back to that yet, have we?
No, we don't agree.
We
I
haven't,
think Gil had said something about
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
dates.
fiscal year?
So it will be 20.
It would be July to June.
Are you doing the fiscal year?
I would say
Fiscal year?
probably be easiest to keep it fiscal year 23.
So July 1st of 2022 to June 30th of
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah. And then we'll do this annually. this time. Start in April, that way it gives the board time to get it completed, compiled, part of the meeting before the end of the fiscal
I can set it up as a reminder.
That'd be great. All right. Gil, any other thoughts on this?
No, just, just I'm editing a couple of things. I mean, some of the stuff will be, I guess everything has an answer, so the NO would probably,
The what?
NO would probably be the thing that you don't use because it doesn't apply.
Yeah.
You know.
Usually it's NA, not applicable,
NA, but yeah.
instead of not observed. Because everybody understands that generally, so. I mean,
Well,
changing
it could be applicable to a certain individual, it just might not be applicable to all three people that are filling out the form. It could be something that maybe Melissa observes when she's in the office more than something I would observe and you might observe.
I mean,
I
I
think
think these
that's
are so broad,
They are, it's a blanketed,
It's
form,
Exactly.
sure, but,
but like the part that says he mentors department heads,
It's not
that's not applicable. Because that's not
Yeah.
what he
I
does.
mean, either way, I'm fine with it, I understand what the intent of it is, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So we'll change the language of Gil's job. We will put the meeting date in, we'll change to the fiscal year, and we will make it NA instead of NO.
Yes.
And then is it's fair to ask the two of you to have it back a week after you receive it from the editor? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because you're gonna do the whole,
Yeah.
just a few
Yeah.
changes. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm not going on vacation.
I am.
Works for me.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Gil, thank you. Okay. Sticker replacement cost and charge to residents. And this came out of, this is a transfer station sticker cost and charge to residents. So this came out of a topic from last meeting.
Yes,
You
I remember.
You weren't here. We've had, I would say, one every other month-ish, where we have a resident who has purchased a transfer station sticker and either loses it or has their windshield replaced or
Got lost in the mail.
it got lost in the mail, and we were trying to sort out how to handle these moving forward. If there is a new policy that needs to be in place that includes some sort of fee for the time spent in rectifying and for
And the cost of the
the
sticker.
cost of the sticker. Any thoughts?
First thing, I don't know what it costs, but you know, if it's a nominal fee, if it's $10 to have it replaced, something like that, but I would find out how much it costs to get the sticker. And I understand people that it happens, but you begin to wonder.
I don't want to be punitive.
No.
But
But still,
there is
there's a cost associated with that.
so hot.
Oh my God! The world is gonna fall apart if you say it's hot.
Teresa, we were on the sticker replacement.
Oh, yes.
Do you don't have an idea of what it costs to what we paid for a sticker, for each sticker? The
Oh,
cost?
dear. No.
No.
Manufacturer?
Yeah.
No. I mean, not much. Not much.
Have you tried it yet?
No. Sorry, we're trying to get
Are
out.
we all down?
Sorry.
No, we can't get onto the network yet.
So,
So our procedure is still to just mail out the stickers, correct?
Yes, if somebody, yes. But people have
They do it
called and
online.
said,
No, the initial stickers, I'm saying, so if you have, my only concern is you have someone we set a replacement sticker cost, and you have someone that purchases a sticker, and they legitimately do not get it, for whatever fault of it that it is. Storm, the mailbox is gone, so someone that just paid for a sticker, I can just see it becoming a big issue that someone comes in looking for a replacement sticker that they legitimately paid for, and they did not get,
But how do you know they didn't get it?
I don't know.
You're far more
But
trusting than I
we're
am.
treating them almost like they did something wrong.
Right.
And charging them a fee to replace a sticker that, you know, the likelihood that they legitimately lost it, I think is probably pretty good, whether it's in the mail, whatever happened. I just think if we find some sort of middle ground, that would be my concern, is to have a case like that and we're gonna have someone that we're wrongfully charging that they didn't get it, to no fault of their own.
But then everybody will say, I never got it. How do you know?
Well, I guess I see that instance as a little different than like your sticker's supposed to be on your windshield and suddenly it goes missing.
Right.
So maybe we can delineate in the policy that, you know, we all
There's a
know,
replacement cost.
we know when stickers have gone out in the mail and could conceivably be lost. That isn't a year, you know, a year long, the sticker's ordered in June and it's February before we have a sticker reported as lost in the mail. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think when we're talking about stickers that are on windshields and go missing and need to be replaced, or windshields that are replaced, or
Or people get in an accident and got to take it off their car.
then a small nominal replacement cost makes sense.
Right.
But the lost in the mail, I mean, we have to have some element of trust in our residents and neighbors. And if it becomes a sweeping problem, then we can address the sweeping problem.
Mhm.
How many issues have we had with stickers? And how frequently?
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. People are forgetting to peel them off. But again, every time we give out a sticker, it's the
It
same
tells, I
spiel.
know.
If you get a windshield replacement or trade in your vehicle, please peel off the sticker and bring it back to us
And we'll give
with
you
your
your one.
updated vehicle registration, and we will gladly switch it out for you. If not, you will be required to purchase another one. Literally say the same thing to everybody that comes in to buy a sticker. And it's also, if you buy it online, it's a pop-up that shows up.
And my concern isn't even so like that type of situation that someone, I mean, if they forgot to take it off their windshield, I mean, that's kind of on them. I know it's unfortunate, but it's on them. But I'm just thinking someone that legitimately pays for it and issued out, they never receive it.
Can you get into it?
You know, that rare
Should they pay twice?
that rare occurrence, that's what I
Ability to cut and paste.
just that one scenario right there. I
Why
mean,
wouldn't you ask them to pay the full price
Unless you want
again?
to type it
but
all.
they shouldn't have to pay anything, is how I feel.
So
You know, if someone legitimately bought a sticker,
This
they
one,
never
right?
got it, never received it for whatever reason. And you have that situation, you're gonna have someone that's gonna be very upset in here saying, why do I have to
Pay
pay
for a sticker
another
I didn't
fee
get.
for a sticker I didn't
They might
get?
not, they might not sort of stuff.
Yeah, keep asking for it.
Yeah.
Right, but that's my only
Yeah.
concern with setting it in stone saying replacement cost, and that situation would be classified as a replacement. But someone that forgets to take it off there, the windshield replaced doesn't come off, they get a new car, whatever that case may be. I mean, that's on them. It's unfortunate that they made a mistake, but that mistake cost $50 to get that sticker.
How the ones that come in, if they're getting in the mail, I don't know if it's on the phone.
But they have a little control over that.
That's
sticker.
zero.
That's how I look at it.
Yes.
Where something else where, to no fault of their own, they never received
They
the
never
initial
received
sticker. They have no control over it.
Yeah, I'm trying to put myself in a position of not receiving something I purchased and then being told that I have to
They
pay
should
for
pay
it
for it
again.
again.
I think I would probably be pretty upset about that.
Yeah.
Whereas I could wrap my head around, oh, I gotta pay $10 because
I forgot to take
to
it off.
take the sticker off, or I lost it because I never stuck it on my windshield.
Right, we've had that happen. They got it.
You wouldn't be happy about it, but you'd accept it.
Yeah, but it would be on me.
Acceptable. Something we could have. You know, how would you do that?
Is it possible that we could set a replacement cost that could be waived under a certain situation or, by the board kind of thing? something like that, that we could set a fee, but it,
Yeah.
you know, we would have
We
to.
could set a fee, then we would have.
We could
would
waive it,
waive
if for some reason, you know,
Right.
no, she could.
And somebody that never thought of it, we
I mean,
can't
staff,
replace
staff.
it.
And I think we should have people come before the board.
That was missing, the only thing is then people
Take-
can't use
take
transfer
it,
station
yeah,
until the next week
Just send you an email.
if they don't have a sticker.
Send
We
that
have
to me.
replaced it, so if someone comes in tomorrow
I'll send it to you.
and our meeting's in 5 weeks or 6 weeks, they can't use the transfer station until they get a new sticker, after the 16th.
I think, if someone says they did not get the sticker in the mail, they should come before. If they did not receive the sticker in the mail, they should come before the board. Because the mail, the mail is correct 75% of the time.
I'm on
You're
Facebook
tough.
and people are trading packages
25%
all
is a high
the
percentage.
time.
You know?
All the time people are saying, I had a package delivered to such and such and such, I don't have it. Do any of my neighbors have it? Or they'll say, I have a package for so-and-so. I don't know what street they live on. All the time that happens. So I wouldn't be as trusting of the post office because I see it all the time. People look over their packages, but getting packages that don't belong to them.
And people that trade the cars in and stuff, I think there should be a little bit of leniency there, because people do not always think, they're all excited about getting a new car, no one's thinking about stripping the sticker off. They get in an accident, they get a broken windshield, and it is Massachusetts law, any sticker that's on a windshield, goes back on the windshield. There's inspection, whatever's on that windshield is supposed to go back on the
They're
windshield.
not even supposed to be putting stickers on the windshield.
That's, it's supposed to be.
That's an aspect wrong, so.
Alright, so,
I
well,
mean, there's variables, and I think a few of the variables should come before the board.
Can we make it so that, it's at the discretion of the administrative assistant, and if there's an issue, that comes before?
I think that's what she does now, I mean, it's like, we've got one coming up in a few minutes, it's coming before the board.
Right,
So.
like if we set guidelines, and said, okay, if this is circumstance, just go ahead and give them a new sticker, they don't come before the board. But if extenuating circumstances like this one, that comes before the board. It's still gonna make people not be able to access the transfer station ahead of time.
I think trade-ins, accidents, windshield replacements, can probably handle it in the office. The trade-in or accident car replacement, because you have the same registration, and it possibly should be able to handle that to the board. But the complicated ones a little bit should come before. The ones that actually say they did not get the sticker in hand.
Is it possible that in a situation like what you're saying, that they could get some sort of just quick temporary or something from
Even
the office?
if we said, okay, if you forgot to take it off your windshield, then it's a $10 replacement fee, you give them the sticker. She has the control over just doing it and not having to wait to come to the board. But if it's something that's more complicated, like this, then it comes before the board for the board to make the decision, so that she doesn't have to make everybody wait.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever the nominal fee that we decide we want to set,
And if they're
She can
looking for the,
replace
and if they're looking for the fee to be waived, they can come in front.
they can come in front of the board, and then they're without a
Sounds-
sticker until they
sounds
do.
so, alright. Do we want to make a motion?
Do we have an amount that we're?
That's what I was thinking, do we have an amount? Do we want to make it $5, $10? Said it wasn't expensive to, because she's using up a lot of, stickers and replacing them and not charging people, so there is a cost
It's her time.
to us, and time and postage. So I would think maybe somewhere between 5 and 10, it shouldn't be bad.
I had 10,
Okay.
sort of in my head, but,
Yeah, that works for me.
All right, I'll make a motion that, we set a replacement transfer station sticker cost to $10 that can be issued by our office, the administrative assistant or the health agent, with what, with proper documentation, registration, proof of the old sticker,
That's the problem, they usually don't have proof of the old sticker.
or at least that we have it on file that they paid for a sticker, they had a sticker, and the registration matches up. Okay. And in the event that someone's requesting that the replacement fee be waived, they must come in front of the board to request to do so. And something else I was
Well, that was it.
and that's strictly just for replacements, not for, non-compliance with our requirements of issuing a sticker.
Right, now that's just, were we doing something temporary?
I don't know if that makes things too difficult. I mean, that kind of addresses it, that we don't need
She's
anything
gonna-
temporary because she can
She's gonna
issue
do
it,
Okay,
or
All
Jill
right.
can issue it.
okay.
And it's really just that they have to pay, and if they don't agree with that, they can come before the board. And that's
Yeah.
their choice to make.
Okay.
I will second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And I have mine as well. All right. Meeting frequency. So our agendas are lengthy. There's a lot going on in the Board of Health office. And and it has also been suggested that we don't meet frequently enough. And so I am wondering if, particularly because we have the transfer station task force coming up, over the next half a year, we increase our frequency to every 3 weeks. So we shorten our span.
We'll just see how that falls out in terms of holidays and stuff coming up. And that's what we try to
We can move
avoid.
it, around too.
1, 2, that would be June 6th.
It's every Thursday.
Every 3 weeks.
27.
And obviously, if it falls on a holiday, then we can,
Do you know when you're going on vacation?
yes.
Okay, so right now I have June 6th, June 27th,
So,
July 18th. I'll just write them all down first and then tell you.
so the next would be April 25th.
Oh, for this month.
And then our 16th, and then June 6th. You,
Yeah.
you go with that? Okay.
The one on the 25th,
Mm-hmm.
just know I'm on vacation the week prior, so I won't really have a lot of time to get anything together for the meeting. And Gil will have to post because I won't be here. So he'll have to do the agenda.
I guess you're gonna,
You can handle that, Gil?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So April 25th,
Are you good with that?
I'm supposed to be in Atlanta.
You're not, though.
I'm not,
Not
no,
because
I'm,
of
no,
this meeting.
no. I have to do virtual. There was, no more registration in person.
Okay.
So these are potential dates here. I don't know if any of those interfere with. That's at least covers the summer until September.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm away for the July meeting, but that's okay.
What's the July meeting?
The 18th.
18.
I go on vacation
But-
right after that.
But that's okay. Well, that is.
No,
All right, great.
I'm taking that back.
Taking it back. All right, thanks, guys. Transfer station task force update. So, we were made a committee formally,
You need to,
Point?
and we need to appoint. The only thing I will say is that Eric Kimshirk, our accountant, was not named as a committee member.
yes, I put him down on the thing, but then I, changed, that he's like an advisor. He actually can't be on the board because he is not a Hanson resident.
Right. Yes, and the purpose is for him to consult with us
As an advisor.
as an advisor because we need his help with the numbers periodically here. So should we do that first?
Yeah, so,
Did the select board made as a committee.
Yes,
Yeah.
Appointed, okay.
yes, that happened
was-
on the 14th.
So, Melissa, you have to abstain from obviously appointing yourself.
Correct.
You don't have to.
You have to. According to the town clerk, you have to. I asked the town clerk.
Because she's appointing.
Because you can't appoint yourself.
You would do that all over the place.
That's what I'm told.
It's a good idea to. It's not sure if you actually have to.
I can only tell you what you told me. So,
So
She can still vote, she just can't, no, she can't.
so you can't vote for herself.
She can vote for other people.
Correct.
So we can do them individually.
Yes, they should be done individually.
So she can't make the motion and she can't vote on her.
I'll make a motion to appoint the members of the Transfer Station Committee as follows: Melissa Panetti, Michael Dugan, and Joseph Weeks.
Can we do them
She can't-
individually, please?
She can't
Do Melissa
vote on
first.
them.
So
We
let's
don't
do
them
Melissa
individually.
first, and then you can do everybody
Right.
else together.
That's why I
Did
said.
you
do
say that
it
Eric
individually.
wasn't
Yes, we're
a
gonna,
member?
yeah, he's an advisor, but then you can do Michael Dugan and Joe Weeks together.
Yes.
But Melissa has to be done
Or
separately.
we could have just done all three and she could have abstained. But okay, we'll do it that way.
Yeah.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Melissa Panetti as a member of the Transfer Station Committee.
I'll second.
Okay? All in favor?
I'll abstain.
Melissa abstain.
Now I can make Michael Dugan and Joe Weeks. I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Michael Dugan and Joe Weeks to the Transfer Station Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well.
And we don't have to worry about the advisor because he's only an advisor.
Correct. So, to that end, we provided everybody is sworn in prior to Friday. We'll have our first meeting on Friday, this Friday at 4 o'clock here in this room. And we will organize and go from there in terms of beginning to compile data on options for the transfer station. Any questions, thoughts, comments? Points that you both want me to take back to the committee?
You know, because I think the first thing is gathering the information. Teresa?
Hi, I'm supposed to be here. Who are you? I'm Linda Testeri.
Hi, Lena.
Hi, well, go ahead.
Who told you to be here?
Bo Dyer.
Who?
Bo Dyer.
Who's that?
Matt's
Solid, your
dad.
plan has not even come back.
That's Dad.
The plan
So
hasn't come back from outside review.
Matt's
Maybe I
dad.
need to go meet him outside then.
It doesn't have to go before the board anyways.
All right, I don't know why he told me to be here.
I don't know. It hasn't even come back from outside review,
No,
so,
I know it hasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it hadn't as of this morning, right?
still hasn't. Yep, still
Well, it's
hasn't.
good to see you.
Nice to see you too. And you also. Me too, I see him every week. All right, I'll have to wait for him outside then.
Okay.
Thanks, Donna. Where were we?
We were, task force?
Yeah.
You wanted to know if there are any questions that we had, and I started to say, it's the gathering of information. It's gathering of information that you have to do first in terms of costs and numbers and yeah. So, at this point, no, because I know that's the beginning.
Okay.
We're gonna start.
All right. Anything for you? Okay. The public health nurse.
Yes.
Gil.
We definitely need a public health nurse. We've talked about this before. The public health nurse in Whitman would gladly take the position on. It's only so many hours per week at a certain rate, and I don't see it being possibly more than maybe 5 hours a week if that, 3 to 5 hours a week if that, so.
What is the amount of money that we had set aside for a public health nurse? Because we have a budget
Right.
line item. What is it?
5,000.
5,000 a month?
No, 5,000 for the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
the-
can't do 5 hours a week.
It's the meeting, it's the money that we had for,
The VNA.
the VNA. That was the same line item.
So did we move it from that line to a public health nurse line?
No, it's the
No,
same
it's the
line,
same
but
line.
they were doing the same thing. It's the same function.
Should I repeat?
Okay.
So usually before we would decide how many hours a position is, we'd want to establish what they were doing. Right, what would they be doing?
They've been running the Maven part of the Maven, I'll explain Maven to you. Epidemiology, all the contagious
Yes.
diseases, everything comes into Maven, and they would be reviewing Maven every day to see what comes in. And there's a lot of different, contagious diseases that come in, and they would monitor like the Lyme disease and stuff, and they'll do all the research into labs and stuff like that. If there's any medical stuff, like $7, a couple of $7 cases. I think one of them was in Hanson. They'll call the people to find out where they ate in the last 24 hours. They'll call hospitals to find out exactly what it is. So it's not like it's constantly being used, but these two people in Richmond, they're one with work on Hanson. One does a positivity report. They take the COVID test reports and gives once a week to that. And
Is that still happening?
Pardon?
That's still happening?
They do it. They just do it for the school and stuff. And so they track Hanson because they get it off the state website. They track Hanson. We get a report once a week. They'll tell us how many tests and how many positive results.
We advertised for this position before. So
We did.
We have a job description
We do.
for this position.
We do.
So,
So I guess I would like to see that. I think I'd also like to see how often do things come up in Maven.
So
What?
we don't know.
I can tell you, I do look at it.
But I thought you guys couldn't get in to do the reports for the communicable diseases.
No, I never said that. I said the report that we used to get from Norwell VNA,
Yes.
I think they created that report on their own.
The nursing Whitman told me that she could do that report for us, but I forgot what she
Well, yeah, maybe she's willing to create a report. I don't know. But I tried all of the reports and I couldn't get anything to print out the way that prints out. But when we had Norwell VNA, which was prior to COVID, all the contracts expired at the end of the fiscal year, and they didn't want to get involved with COVID. They log in once a day, check and update anything that needs to be updated. And we would pay them for every time that they checked Maven.
So it was like $20 for them to check it.
Something like that, yeah.
It's like piecework. It's not like you have to look at Maven.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's, for me, to check a computer and offer someone 5 hours a week to check a computer, it's not computing for me, given that.
So,
There's lots of other things that person could do, but we have not been doing them because we have not had a nurse to do it.
So, I would want to see the job description, because when we advertise and say we need a public health nurse, we need to see, the board needs to see the job description and confirm what is,
I can print it out.
what is
Yeah, she must have
relevant,
it.
useful.
I have it, hold on.
And they're up to date on everything to do with Maven, all the requirements.
Sure.
So they keep track of a lot of nurses. They'll typically all drop down the wayside. But the two women in Britain, they both retired and they go to the hours where they help us out.
So I guess we have a very small budget, and I want to maximize the use of that budget if we're going to use it.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to say 3 to 5 hours a week. I would be hesitant or cautious in saying we need a public health
That's
nurse
just
3 to
a-
5 hours. Just let me finish one.
Yeah.
If, say, 1 week, we really actually don't need much from the public health nurse. We're spending down a very small budget.
You wouldn't be getting charged. How it works.
Okay,
You have to
so-
explain Maven to you. You have to understand Maven, how it works and how the reporting comes down from the state. You
Well-
never know what they're gonna do.
There's no reason why we couldn't have that nurse train them how to get into Maven. We don't need to necessarily pay the nurse to go into Maven.
I guess that's my point. I could definitely see the use of a public health
Yes.
nurse.
Yes, but not just for that function.
Yeah.
Right. So, given that this is 4 pages and I want to read it and be thoughtful, could I ask that we table this and have us all look at this?
You can make copies for people.
Yes, I think that makes sense. That you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good idea. I just want to think this through together and be fully up to speed with the description.
I agree. The other thing too is if it's something that we're gonna post to accept an application for it.
We did before, and then we didn't do anything with any of the applications.
Right, but if we're gonna, I think we should probably redo that.
The post, the job description? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the job description is definitely.
It's not anything we're gonna
readjusted.
act on.
Today. No.
Right, so
No.
let's put this, let's revisit this in May. Okay. All right, Gil, thanks for bringing that up. It's a good discussion. I'll give this back to you again.
Oh, yes, this is all the diseases that we're supposed to be around.
That one.
I know you do.
So we, since Glenna's here, tell me your name.
William Dyer, Bo Dyer.
So Di,
I'm the excavator. I'm working for Glenna doing a project.
okay.
So we needed to add a grease trap to Glenna, so
Mm-hmm.
we went down to Joe was graceful enough. We put it together. It was
Okay.
right now.
Okay,
We designed to put the grease trap on there so
Right.
everything will work.
okay. So I already sent him out the original plans, and I sent out to outside review, so those are the revised plans?
It's revised with the grease trap on.
Okay,
So.
so you wanna give those to me?
We got
Yeah.
5 copies for you.
Perfect. Here, I'll only take 4 copies, and I'll give you 1,
Beautiful.
and then, I will try to scan it. The scanner wasn't working earlier, but I'll try to scan it to the outside reviewer since he already has all the other paperwork. But it has not come back from outside review yet.
Okay, time frame, she said, okay, I know we're asking questions. We're thinking of-
I can't say. He doesn't only work for Hanson, he works for several towns, so, and I don't know what his workload is. But when I scan it to him, I'll have to send him an email explaining the situation and go from there.
Okay, so, do we have to wait till the next meeting, or do?
No, because there's no variances.
There's no variance.
They didn't add any variances,
Okay,
right?
great.
No, right? No, so if there's no variances,
Okay.
if it's 9 times out of 10 when it comes back from outside review that there are changes that need to be made. So I'll send that back out to Webby, he'll make the changes, resubmit, and then it goes to Gil and Gil can approve it.
Great.
So it depends on how quick that happens.
All right, mine is just, I'm speaking about mine, she's just on.
No, I totally
I
get
know,
it.
we're just trying to get our homework in.
No, I totally get it.
On Friday, it's like,
No, I totally get it. So
Okay, we'll just.
I'll send it to him later today, assuming that the, scanner is working. And then go from there.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, you're the best, thank you for your time.
It was good to see ya.
We made it. We were just at Joe's, these things, I thought, like, go.
Okay.
All right, beautiful, thank you very
All
much.
right.
thanks all.
All right.
After me, sorry.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
So we have a table to next month, we already probably have 3 things on the agenda for
Ta-
next month.
Table for the May 16th.
We have 4 things on the agenda for next month.
Public health nurses, okay.
And Ronland Family Transfer Station sticker inquiry, we have an email
Mm-hmm.
that came through. Sounds like the family of Mr. Gronland, who's a Hanson resident, is, the family is from Whitman. They are taking care of Mr. Gronland, and hoping to take his car off the road, and would like to be able to take his trash from his house to the transfer station.
They're cleaning out the house.
They're cleaning out the house.
He's
Obviously,
not there?
obviously,
He is there.
He's still there.
obviously
There was,
doing that.
his, wife passed away, so they're trying to kind of go through it.
Investigative
Does he
stuff.
have Alzheimer's?
That's why I think, I approved this, he was a board member almost 20-something years.
But we have in the past, we've given a family member. I remember a guy that was living in Pembroke. We allowed him to come to Hanson to take his mother's stuff.
It's not a sticker, it's a letter. So they're not entitled to a sticker, but,
Oh, okay.
but
okay,
there- I
that's
have
the
a
difference.
letter
Yes,
that I can
that's what we
type
did.
up for a certain amount of time.
Okay,
So we could do it for, 6 months, and then if they need it for longer than that, they can come back and I can
That's
update
what
it.
was. And they just show that letter when.
And they keep the letter and they just show it at the transfer station.
That's what we did for that woman that.
Mm-hmm.
I have no
Son,
concern.
We have done
Her
that.
son lived in Pembroke.
We have
and
done
they
that
took her
before.
trash.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah.
concerns other than I think we should assist them to help them achieve the goal they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
I agree.
Whether it's with, allowing them to pay for a replacement sticker to go on the new vehicle, which I think we've done before,
But it's,
with someone, I know it's
sticker's still
registered.
good, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Sticker's still good.
well, if they can remove it and put it on the new one, and we can allow them to do that, or we can give a temporary letter.
Why
that
don't
might
we,
make
why
sense.
don't we give them a letter through the use of the sticker? So, I mean, if the sticker is good,
They want to take that vehicle off the road.
right, but if you pay for a sticker, that's good until next.
July 1st of 2024.
Why would we just give them a
Oh,
letter?
that's right, yes.
Why wouldn't we just give them a
Remember
letter
saying
through the
that.
sticker term?
To use that
To use-
sticker on their vehicle.
Correct. But to use the
The
letter.
letter.
Okay.
That way,
Because
if
it's
they
more
have,
than one family member can help. I have a truck and somebody doesn't.
right, like if they have 2 cars and they're helping him clear out his
Yeah,
house,
that makes
that
sense.
way the letter.
So then
Yes.
I handicap the one vehicle.
Yes.
Gotcha.
The way it's normally done is they bring the registration in and the bottom of the letter has, if they have 2 vehicles, both of the registration information is at the bottom of the letter, so they can use the letter interchangeably with whatever vehicles they have that they want to use.
Okay, and how do we let the transfer station know that?
They show them the letter. I tell the people, don't let them have this letter, and they show the letter every time they go.
Yeah.
Just keep it in your glove box and there
Maybe
you
we
go.
need to alert Chris. Fine.
No, they'll
He's
show
used
Chris.
one.
Yeah.
He's using.
He's used
Yeah,
one.
okay.
He's-
I haven't done one in a while because of
We've done them
COVID,
in
but
the past.
Okay.
For certain
And I'll have it expire on, July
Safety.
1. Yep. July
Do
1.
we need a?
Do we need to vote on it?
No.
We just have the consensus that we all think that we should do that.
Probably should, right?
Because he's already paid for the sticker,
We're allowing someone that's not a resident to use the transfer station.
but they're using it for to empty his.
I understand, but I think we should probably just take a
That's fine. If you
vote
want
on
to do
it.
a vote, do a vote.
No,
Doesn't hurt to vote?
no.
Nope, never hurts to vote.
Let's vote. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we allow the Brunland family to get a letter that will run to the end of June 30th of
July 1st of 2024.
July 4th, 2024, the length of the sticker to be used by the family to bring trash to the transfer station.
In connection with the property 140 West Washington Street.
You can put
Or
that-
only stuff generated from
Yes.
that property.
Yes. You can add that.
West Washington.
140 West Washington.
West Washington. Know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'll
Mrs.
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hannah and I as well. Excellent. Thanks, guys. So, this is my item, project delegation. There are a number of things that come through our office that we talk about sort of in passing, or might go into the office and talk about with Gillian or Teresa, and then they sort of fall by the wayside until they come up again. So I was thinking, and Kiwani came up again,
Even though he thought it was fixed.
even though we thought it was fixed. So I was thinking it would be, I think, more efficient, and more, and proper to delegate and spread the wealth of digging into some of these projects that are ongoing or that may come up over the course of,
Downstairs.
I forget where I was, sorry.
You were talking about sharing the
So
wealth.
many different.
She was sharing the wealth. You were sharing the wealth.
Sharing the wealth of handling some of these projects that come up. as very similar to what the select board does, where they have liaisons. I thought that we could establish something similar, and I just brainstormed to Teresa for our agenda some things that were on the top of my mind and that continuously come up, but sort of fall off of the bigger discussion. So, Kiwani being one, and thinking about whether or not we can streamline our catering issues. That's going to take some time, and it's going to take some interfacing again with Frank and with the folks over at Kiwani to see if there is a way to reduce some of the snags that we continue to run into. So I was hoping somebody could take that over. Gil and I had talked in the office about recycling and pulling Green Hanson into some of the stuff that we do. Gil, I think you had expressed a desire to be that person, potentially.
Yeah, because I think Green Hanson is far more advanced as far as food recycling than we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with them taking the lead and educating the people like they are on Facebook and social media, they're preparing people somewhere. So I think if we can help them somewhere along the way here with funding and stuff on certain things, you know, let's develop a relationship with them. I know they're very nice people. I know they won't work with everybody. I think it's pretty important getting involved. A lot of towns are involved with committees like this and organizations. And I think it's important for us to really, start communicating with them what they're doing. Food recycling is heading our way, so, maybe, other towns like Kingston, Kingston's very involved with their, environmental partner, they call it. So I think we should really go at this a little bit harder than it's happening right now, because food waste is coming. It might be 2 years away, but, they're educating people. They've got a lot of advertising happening, social media, so I think we should, develop a good, better relationship with them, and it's just like having assist us as far as educating people.
Okay, great. South Shore Recycling Collaborative. I know I read through a lot, but there's a lot that's put out by them in their newsletters and online, but it doesn't always make it here for discussion of any topics that we might want to address.
So I can bring that back, because I go to all their meetings.
Yeah, I thought maybe it would be like, an update. It might be nothing. It might be nothing.
Like I have household hazardous waste.
Exactly. And then I know you're doing the
And
emergency
I'm doing emergency planning.
Yes. Is there any other? And then there's obviously the transfer station situation.
And you're doing that.
Yes. So, thoughts?
Why is up grabs?
Thoughts, comments?
So are you gonna, put liaisons, board members as liaisons with these things?
I'm throwing this out for a discussion.
Oh,
To the board and getting weigh-ins.
So for both of these, for South Shore Recycling and the Coalition, I have been appointed by the Board of Selectmen to be on those boards. So I have no problem bringing back information, sort of what's going on and keeping the board up to date.
That would be great. Thank you, Arden. Kevin?
Melissa?
Kevin's not finding anything he likes. Is there anything else you think we should be looking at?
Well, I think the emergency plan, now, Arlene, let me ask you this, now, is that meeting going to be every Friday from now on, and doing Fridays from now
No,
on?
there's a training that's this Friday. Usually it's Thursday. They moved it from Tuesday to Thursday because of the DPW updates. No, that training is just this Friday. It's not, they're not moving it from that. He's talking about emergency planning coalition.
Yeah.
And there's
I think
training
Kevin
this
was
Friday.
getting ready to say something.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
he had an idea about what he wanted?
What, so what exactly are we looking for in a role for this?
Say that again.
What are we looking for a role for
Wanting.
Lonnie? I mean, obviously, a board member's not really there to act on behalf of the board.
Right.
But just kind of a line of communication rather than,
Even that, figuring out why we keep running into the same problem,
So,
what can we do?
for example, since we last met, there have been some other snags in the process that we had talked about and established. And so there was discussion, I think Teresa and I had sort of bantered a bit about, was there a way that was within our laws and rules, where there could be a more streamlined group of catering and vendors with Kiwani that would be somewhat vetted with us, so the process wasn't so complex, given that a lot of people cater there often. And it's cumbersome, and it doesn't necessarily seem as streamlined as it could be, or as it used to be. So, and that's not faulting anyone, it's just, it is what it is. And so, someone who I'm looking or hoping that someone, maybe you, can look into it more, work with Teresa, work with Frank, and then bring back to the board any.
okay.
We gotta take a fresh look at it.
Gil.
I'll raise my hand now. Well, I had planned on, further down the line here, discussing a few things with the board and Kevin on some upcoming issues and stuff, so. I mean, I see him better suited for some of the things I see further down the line here. He's willing to, participate in this, so. I'm sorry, nothing.
So do you want to add other things to this list?
That's what you're saying?
Let's stay focused on
Yeah,
the
stay
Kiwani
focused.
first.
Yeah.
let's stay focused on the agenda topic that we're on.
I think, can I say something?
On Kiwani? Yes.
I think Teresa does a very good job with us, and after talking
Thank
to,
you.
after talking to different other people, some of the things that she tells them they have to do, and it's required by code and whatnot,
Sure.
some they really seriously have to think about tracking more. They have to answer to the codes, and if they're not answering to the codes, then Teresa says there should be repercussions on that. Which I will hit on that line a little bit later, but it's got to be. They have to go by the codes, the rules and regulations that are set forth by the state and most of the regulations are state regulations, and not any regulations by this board. But they have to adhere to what goes on. That's what the liaison's going to tell them. And he was spoke to Frank. I was going to speak to Frank about this myself. I saw him yesterday, and it's imperative. We're talking food, and food is on the top of the list right now of good things.
This is a big topic, and it's one that's come up maybe once a month for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
And it needs a liaison from our board.
Is there still miscommunications between what the caterers have to do and when they have to do it in terms of timeline, or is it a range?
It's a range of things. And we're getting into the season where it's going to start to heat up, and we need to make sure that everything is permitted.
Timing. I think Kevin wants, what he's getting himself in for.
Whatever you need, Melissa.
So you'll take that one over,
Sure, whatever you need to do.
or I'll trade, and you can do the transfer station.
20 sounds fine.
That's when you put it that way.
Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
So, any other comments, questions on that?
What about the recycling green Hanson?
Gil?
Oh, you are?
Gil
Okay,
said
I'm
he
sorry, I missed that.
Gil is going to interface with
Okay.
Green Hanson.
I missed that.
They have a lot of good stuff.
They do.
We could really put out and get involved.
So, then just jumping down a little bit to Roman numeral number 5, ongoing project updates, that'll be a regular line on our agenda going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So each of us can report on if there is
What's going on?
anything.
And then you took the transfer station off?
I think that will be my project to update on.
Okay.
So
I added
Oh,
transfer
that.
station as a letter E.
that would be great.
Yeah.
We should have done that.
Yeah.
And maybe things come up, we add, we take away, we subtract. It's to get things going and doing a bit of delegating across the three of us. Get us more robust department. Okay. Claire, Regional Hazardous Waste Depot.
Yes.
Do we need to
Do you
call her
want to
in?
call her?
This is the updated version, that she did today, except right now,
Nothing to do with me.
the towns that have indicated their support right now are Cohasset, Duxbury, East Bridgewater, Hanover, Hingham, Norwell, Pembroke, Rockland, Situate, Whitman, and Abington. And when she came before us the last time, I think there were 3 towns that hadn't spoken to and hadn't joined. What is that? Yeah, it was Abington, Hanson, and Rockland, and Abington and Rockland have already joined. And the proposal, you read it, she talked about it last month, so,
Yeah.
Kevin wasn't here.
Kevin wasn't here, and I had an
Okay.
issue with the fact that she was asking for us to commit to money, but didn't have numbers, and I asked her to come to us with some numbers, and she did that.
Oh, she did, okay,
It's on the
so,
bottom point,
and that's what we got today.
right?
So I don't know if Kevin's had it. The proposal was, they're trying to put together a regional hazardous waste day because it's so hard to get companies now to commit to doing it. It's really hard to get dates. It was just getting harder and harder to do. So they came up with a plan to regionalize it, and they asked the state to provide some grant money to set it up. And she went to one in Devon's and then another one, I can't remember where it was, where it's regional and it's already up and it's active. So when she was here last month, she was looking for a site. Hanover has said they will do it at their transfer station. And it would be accessible to all of the towns that are in this on a regular basis. For that, we could take some of our RDP money, which we pay setup costs. When we do the hazardous waste now, we share the cost with at least 2 other towns. So one year we do the setup fee and the other 2 towns pay some of the other fees. This way, we would be paying that to Hanover and everything would go there and would be an ongoing, would be a shed or whatever to keep the material in. And just a way of lowering the cost. It was costing so much money to have these companies come and actually do it on site. And just, in the past 2 years, it's been extremely difficult to get companies to commit to dates. Last year, they had Zoom on Wednesday evenings. They just couldn't get dates. So Hanover would set aside whatever time that they would designate as the hazardous waste. The people from all of those towns would be able to go and drop off everything instead of doing it once a year or twice a year.
Now, do they do certain times for certain towns, or just?
No,
The
you would
time.
be able to go. You would know what time that it was going to be open, and you could go at any time. So, I mean, yeah.
We've been doing hazardous waste collection for I don't know how many years, probably 20 years.
Who?
The town of Hanson has waste collection days and stuff, 20 years maybe.
Probably. We've done them we did them at the middle school. The last couple we've done it at the middle school. And we, in the past 2 years, have set it up so that you have to sign up for an appointment so that you don't have everybody getting in line at the same time.
Right.
So I actually set up for an appointment, one that I'm going to on the 15th that's in Hanover. And I set up the 9:30 to 10 o'clock slot, and there were still 17 slots available during that time. So it might be that there's 30 slots during that hour, and once that fills up. So once we started doing that, it was much smoother. You never had more than 4 or 5 cars. And it's much smoother using the system, that system. And I think it's going to be cost effective because all the towns are sharing the cost. and one town by itself can't afford to pay for the hazardous waste. So, I think that's why she wanted to know if we were interested in becoming line of the food. Or supporting it.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're just
I don't know if you wanna take
taking
time to
money,
read it.
just contributing
with
to,
the same money we
Somewhere
would have been
else.
spending, do we have $5,000 or 3?
Five.
Five, in that line, it was cut down from 10,
Yes.
so I don't think.
I think it
it's
makes
like
sense.
more than that.
Okay.
No,
Want to make a motion?
Not Arlene.
I was not going to, because I'm on the board,
That's right.
Right.
so sure, it's like,
how do you want that motion structured?
That Hanson will join the Regional Hazardous Waste Center under the terms from the April 2023.
All right, I'll make a motion that Hanson joins the Regional Household Hazardous Waste Center proposal, following the terms and the guidelines from the form dated April 2023.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll abstain. Okay. Great. District plans submitted for approval. Ongoing project updates will be relevant next meeting. We added a chairman's update just for things that rather general. It was
okay.
Tracy, you had suggested, I can't remember what it came out of, the discussion we were
I forget
having.
what we were talking about.
It was more for things that come up that,
Doesn't necessarily have to be discussed, but we need to be aware of.
right,
Coming down
coming down the pike, et cetera.
Yep.
The only thing that I have today is the swap shop. Spent some time up there last weekend, straightening out, pulling things out. There's stuff in there, and there's not a lot of shopping, there's more dropping. So a couple of things. One, I think we need to move on the volunteer base, and it sounds like last meeting we had somebody with some interest in bringing a group in to volunteer, but that's since fallen through on their end, not on ours.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people reach out to me via some of my posts on Facebook about the swap shop and utilizing it and promoting it, saying that they would be willing to volunteer. So what I've done is set up a sign-up genius.
Genius.
It's been a long day. Sorry, Sign Up Genius for hour slots during the times that the swap shop is open. And it looks pretty and it has the graphics and whatnot. And it's ready to go with everybody's approval. And then I spoke briefly just to gauge Chris's willingness and buy-in about once we get a group of people willing to volunteer, Chris and I will do a little mini training on what we take, what we don't take. We'll have a little booklet with the things we take, we don't take, if there's any questions. And then everybody will be oriented, at least the starting group, and we'll get people running it on a volunteer basis. My hope is that come the warmer weather, we'll have more people in and out grabbing stuff.
Are you overloaded right now?
We are. I'm going to go up there this weekend and pull out some of the stuff that's just not moving, and I am...
If you do that, I have a pickup schedule on Monday with Big Brother, Big Sister. I can come and pick it up.
I have
and bring it. You
an
do?
Epilepsy Foundation pickup scheduled for mid-April, so between the two of
The
us,
two of us, we can take
we
out.
can
Yeah.
get rid of it,
Yeah.
which would be great. It's good stuff. It's just not moving.
It's not moving, then you gotta move it out of the way.
Go on. Yep.
I explained to them the other day that some of those items in there, Big Brother Big Sister will take.
Mm-hmm.
Don't automatically put it in.
Well, that's why, and I didn't say anything to him today.
The stuff in there they will take.
I have someone coming. So if this stuff is, yeah, I just will take.
And we get paid for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Big Brother, Big Sister, the bin.
yeah.
Yes.
Like those, those pillows and stuff there, don't throw them away.
The what?
The pillows and stuff he wants to throw, he goes, don't throw away. put it in the bins, because they'll take those.
Textiles.
Oh, that's textiles. I'm
Yeah.
talking about toys or whatever.
Well, that too.
Knickknacks and tchotchkes that people are not taking.
Right.
I can put them out for the brother, big sister to pick
And
up.
the sign says they'll take that stuff too, in those bins.
Yeah, but that's, we're not talking about textiles. And I'm talking about the stuff
But
that goes in there.
they'll take the toys and stuff in those bins also.
Oh, I don't know
If
about
you saw
that.
their list, yeah.
No,
I'd be willing to look at.
no, no. So I don't have any problem picking up stuff on Sunday. And,
They mentioned housewares and everything, so.
whatever he thinks is not
I'll
moving,
get,
if
I'll get
something's
that
in
list
there,
reprinted again, if I know that.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna hear about it.
but I'll talk to him.
Okay, anybody have
Picking
any,
up some stuff.
anyone have any questions about
What
volunteer?
other, have we reached out to like Boy Scouts? Does nobody want to do community service?
So I was thinking about reaching out to the high school because high school students need to have a certain number of hours to graduate. And seeing if they wanted to promote it within the school it's a great summer option for service hours. We have it all done for the coming school year. So that's something I can do.
It's still Saturday, Sunday, is it 9:30 to like 11? And then 1 to 2:30?
It's 9 to 11:30 and then 1 to 3:30. And then the only other thought I had on the swap shop is I would love for somebody to make a sign that it can be rugged, it can be made out of pallet. But if anyone knows anyone who would want to make a sign for the swap shop, it was suggested by a citizen who said it's not obvious where it is. So we had sign.
Yeah. Like if you go to the library, they have a sign up there for their
Yeah.
swap shop. So that you know it's there.
I can also put a blast out on social media and see if I can garner a volunteer to make me a sign for the swap shop.
Highway can do it, highway are good. They do, they are able to make their own signs.
Okay. Do you want to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Thanks, Gil. All right. Any comments or concerns about the swap shop volunteer Zoom? Okay.
So are you gonna use the sign-up genius for volunteers? You're gonna,
Yeah.
okay,
I will get that moving.
okay.
The only thing I think we talked about before was just that some sort of, again, just safety training class is something that we're gonna have to do prior to people actually working up there, right?
But that Melissa said she was gonna do that.
Safety training in terms of,
Just being on the property and liability, that's all.
what do you think it should include?
Well, I mean, if they're on the property, I think it should kind of be the same kind of training that any employee up there would have.
But they're only gonna be in that one building. They're
It's
not.
still the same property, right? And it's still access to the same spot.
If that's the case, then you'd have to talk to Lisa about what
I think we should just maybe
Talk to Lisa. Yeah, talk to Lisa and find out what
send an
age.
email, maybe over and ask about that.
Okay.
Just for liability reasons, that's my only concern. I think it's great.
Okay.
Because I mean, the Boy Scouts, they use that. They bought some cans, and the kids are in and out of there all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do.
It's just always the worst case scenario, but
Who's the person that's in charge of the
You're a real downer, huh?
team?
no, I'm not down,
I can't think of his name.
Adam Villachildren?
Adam. Who does?
He, yeah, he's the one that's actually Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
Can you ask him too? If he does anything? Does he do
Does he
anything?
do special training when he has, if the kids help him with the bottles and cans, the sorting and stuff like
No,
that? Who does it? All adults?
all adults.
All right. I'll ask Lisa. Stay
Okay.
tuned on that. If Lisa says it's a go, then I'll plan to proceed. If she doesn't,
sounds
then
good.
we'll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Gil, let's go down the list as it is on the agenda for
Okay.
now.
So, now, did anybody speak about this on the meeting I missed on USDA and all?
No, I moved it over to today so that you can speak on it.
Back in February, we got a visit from USDA Department of Agriculture Chief Investigator, Mr. John Augustini. visiting all the different towns around. You know, there's been a listeria outbreak throughout the country, and it's spreading rapidly. They've hit a lot of factories and stuff. So he was visiting the towns to let us know what was going on with it, and what the USDA felt was causing most of it. And he gave us a bunch of information. I don't know if you read all this stuff at all, but I still have some copies. I was going to give out the last time, but I really didn't make that.
I missed what he said, what was
I'm
it?
sorry.
Huh?
I'm going to give out handouts to
USDA.
No, I know the USA, but was there a particular disease you were talking about?
Listeria.
Okay, that's what I didn't.
Yeah. So, and he spent some time with us, and he's visited, his and his colleagues have visited every town in his district in Massachusetts here. And he's given everybody the same spiel. Hey, can you help us out here? You know, when you're doing the food inspections, people that are grinding, we don't have anybody really grinding meat. I think Shaw's does grind meat. And meat grinders, there's certain regulations they have to follow from the USDA. And he gave us copies of the logs and different things that the retail people are supposed to do in grinding meat. And also the real thing that he's they're really hitting on the delicatessens, people that slice meat, people that slice food products. And if you notice when you go into Shaw's, there's always like 4 meat slices working all the time, and each meat slice is a different thing. And he really gave us, for instances, one of them, for instance, is caterers. Caterers' kitchens. We can find out if we have any caterers' kitchens in town, because caterers were notorious for
Well, if we had a cater, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
for cutting, beef, and they'll go from beef to chicken to cheese, and then that becomes an issue as far as that goes. So, he really, just want to say something.
Is this a closed meeting?
No.
No, I'm just.
Wait, do you want to hear about listeria?
So.
Is that the stuff that grows on vines?
No, that's different.
Cousin.
So the Department of Agriculture look at us, help them out. We visit food inspections and stuff. The meat slices, like I said, they want us, if we have any caterers' kitchens in town, to get on about this cleaning meat slices. Meat slices must be cleaned every 4 hours, and some of them don't do. They're onto Shaw's and Stop and Shop. His investigators, they were down here, and those are places that are really hitting on, and delicatessens. Delicatessens are notorious too. So, saying all this and what caused listeria and all the logs that people are supposed to do, doing the opening for Lynn's restaurant next door here, the Chinese restaurant, it comes to find out that the way food product is prepared, certain ways they cut meat, they can't have the proper meat slicer in that place to do what they need to do to prepare pork strips and barbecues, boneless barbecue spares. They are not able to cut it and clean the meat slicer. The meat slicer has to be cleaned every 4 hours, no matter what. It's got to be taken apart and cleaned. And so that's one of the things they really has to concentrate on. He didn't mention the delicatessen. He was watching one delicatessen in another town, and he saw many violations there. Now, this is not an enforcement thing. This is an education thing as far as food inspectors and everything. So, but that is the first instance that happened was that understanding what they do and how they prepare their food, and which was amazing. Because the guy was just here, and now we're doing an opening to that restaurant. So.
Right.
So that's one of the things, and he gave us the logs. I've got the logs and everything that the Shaw's. I haven't really gone over to Shaw's and talking about this. Probably within the next few weeks. The logs and what they're supposed to do. He says the USDA has been there with them, but they want us to follow up, and so that was pretty interesting. So that's it in a nutshell. Like I say, the main thing is caterers and caterers' kitchens and commercial kitchens.
So as a part of the food inspection process, will you be providing some education?
Yeah, we're doing that. I mean,
Great.
I've done the openings in a couple of places, and this is going to be part of it. Includes some of the stuff.
Great.
So.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on it?
You know, but this to me is kind of, you shouldn't need to say that.
I know.
It's just saying remove products that are filthy, putrid, decomposed and slimy. I mean, you shouldn't have to say that.
But there are places.
Yeah.
Because there's
Not in-
certain meat slices, there's a guard that you can barely take off. You need the equipment to take it off, and that's where the buildup is. And that's probably why they say you can't put that machine in that place now, because that's the type of machine that builds it up.
And it's not just in Delhi that you hear about listeria. It's another place too.
Deli cheese, poultry products, and when the deli handles the beef and poultry, and they don't clean in between, and it's everywhere. It's not like it's almost everybody creating food product is having a problem with. He gave us, for instance, they had one factory that they closed down, and the factory was closed down for sanitation. And when they closed the factory down, the processing equipment was moved to another building, and when they get to the next building, they test it again. They got to shut it down again because it was in the machine creating the food product.
Yeah.
It wasn't only in the building; it was also in the machine too. So that's an instance he gave us. But he gave us the basic guidelines for this, and once they ask you to help, not enforcement, they ask you to help in education. So.
Right. That's great, Gal, thanks. Beth?
I didn't know if you guys are taking your vote yet.
Yes.
Read it.
Did you give a term?
For the ambulance,
We need to have when
No.
the term.
So, what is it usually?
Well, is this, how long do we think this is going to last? Is it open-ended, like, do you have a goal set?
The goal is to have something to the town by October town meeting, but I don't think that should be the deadline. I think.
No, it's usually it's staggered, so not everyone gets done at the same time. But if it's just like the town administrative search committee, it's open-ended, because it's when the thing is done. You guys are done, so
That will be us.
So, okay, so you don't need, so it's at conclusion of.
At conclusion,
Yes,
we will disband.
that's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. I'll come see you after this. Perfect. Okay.
Capital improvement update. I happened to talk to Frank Felicia again yesterday. We ran into each other on a different issue, but we're going to get together and go over everything. He and myself will get together and create things for the matrix and whatnot. Some of the things that we had talked about before would not be part of the matrix, and like you saw that, I don't know if you were with me, but so the tree cut and all that stuff and expenditures wouldn't quite meet the matrix. But we're going to get together for the next couple of weeks and go over it and see what should be put on the matrix and everything, and get price on what we need. So I did speak to him yesterday about that.
So maybe we can get an update from you on that
yeah, that'll be the next.
in May.
Yeah, May, I think we'll.
Okay.
It's pretty adamant, about we'll get together and.
Okay. So we'll.
I thought I sent you that email too, but I've got a bunch of different things.
Nope.
So, next thing, soil bio class, it didn't go too good, was out UMass, had the snowstorm, lost power, the class gets cut short, so they're offering the class again, so I'll be trying to apply again. It's very difficult. It's not really a class, it's like a semester of geology, and they're making the things just more and more difficult, and people doing it are the engineers and stuff like that. And they made it pretty explicit for people that are taking the course. The course is basically for engineers. Soil evaluator is an occupation. It's not something you just take on and do. It's an occupation for people. It's for engineers and designers and IRSs and stuff. So, if you're pursuing it, it might take a while to see what happens.
Go ahead.
No, good.
I just didn't want to move on from it yet. I didn't know if you were moving on. So this
We're going to call her. Excuse me. Do you want to call Claire? Do you want to talk to Claire?
Claire's already here.
What?
No, we don't need her, do we?
No, if somebody could just update her after.
No.
Yeah, just, she just,
Asking me now.
she wants to know.
She said no,
Because I spoke with that he was
we're
calling.
all set.
Yeah.
We're all set.
So, I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about the class?
So,
Yeah. So it's come up a lot. It sounds like, and I recall this from listening to past Board of Health meetings. It was a contingency of employment that this would happen. Obviously, interrupted by COVID. Kevin, you had sent through Teresa an email to all of us with some asking us to look at soil evaluator
Yeah, so
law.
I reviewed I reviewed Title V, and I thought that those sections I had sent in the email, I thought should definitely be reviewed.
I
By
couldn't
this
figure
board.
out which sections you were talking about. I
So,
brought my Title V, but I couldn't figure out what specifically, which sections were you talking about?
I read
numbers.
the specific numbers,
I looked at them, but they weren't,
15017,
1-7,
oh, okay.
basically all. of it.
15018, 15101, 15102, 15104,
Okay, we'll
15105.
look.
And then definitions section in the beginning of approving authority, authorized agent, and soil evaluator. Because unless, and I don't know everything, but unless there's something that I'm missing, I don't see where in Title V that it says that, what it states basically, to just sum it up, is it says that a perk test must be done and witnessed by the approving authority. Approving authority, I would say, is this board. And they don't use a term like health agent or they use authorized agent. That's the term they use. So an authorized agent for the approving authority, in our case, would be ill. That's what I came up with on that. And what it says is a perk test must be done by a licensed soil evaluator, meaning whoever the applicant is, and it must be witnessed by the approving authority. It doesn't say anything in there that I read about requiring the witness to be a licensed soil evaluator. That lies on the responsibility of the applicant, the person conducting the perk test. We're there to witness and observe the perk test. And that's just what I came up with, that
In there.
in Title V. I don't know if there's something else that
The
would
job
require that. I don't know.
offer requiring. So it kind of doesn't have anything to
No,
do with
I
Title V.
understand that. I was just
Right.
looking at from a Title V
Oh, but you're
perspective.
saying the state doesn't say it has to be a soil evaluator,
Right.
the witnesses.
So where I was going with the
I
whole
get what
thing,
you mean.
that, and we can reach out to Mass DP and ask the question, that is there a requirement that we're not seeing, that whoever's witnessing the perk test for the office, for the approving authority, are they required to be a licensed soil evaluator? And if the answer is no, then Gil should be out witnessing these perk tests, and we should stop paying for them, contracting them out if that's the case.
We can, but I know every other town,
No,
is just soil, yeah.
I agree with
I
you
know
that
what you're
it's norm.
saying, but
It's
it was
norm.
a condition of employment.
Right, and I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying to be official in what the state regulation says. That's what I'm looking at.
All right, I'd
I'm
have
not-
to look at it because I couldn't figure out.
Right, I'm not looking at, what the job posting was. I'm not looking at what the qualifications were, the terms of employment. I'm not looking at any of that. That can all be discussed if that's an issue. But what I'm saying is, the question I have is it even required that someone hold a soil evaluator license to witness the perk test for this office to fulfill the job function?
I was always under the impression that it was, but
It's a typical thing that you will find that most health agents will have that license. But the question I'm asking is because if it's not required, I think it would be beneficial for Mr. Amato to go out and start witnessing these, because it may be beneficial to him when he's taking the class and learning and trying to pass for the exam, that he'll benefit in that way, dealing firsthand with engineers that they may be able to teach him a thing or two as well.
yeah, I would have to read through this to see. what it says in terms of, my understanding was that it was always required.
But not from what I read in Title V, it's not. Unless I missed something, but
Okay.
if you read through
I
those
have to read through it.
read through those sections, pay attention to, like I said, the definitions of approving authority, authorized agent, I believe the term is, and then all those sections I called out, and it goes through, and it basically explains what's required.
Did you have a question, Yes?
I don't have a question, but I can add something in.
Okay.
So when the previous health agent left, I contacted Vin Flaherty, who was a previous health agent here. He at one point was a soil evaluator, but had not renewed his license. So he did witness perks for the Board of Health without being a soil evaluator. He was at one time, but he was not when he was doing it for us because he had let his license expire. And at that time, I did learn that in fact you do not have to be a soil evaluator to witness the perk.
It just needs to be witnessed by the approving authority, and he is an agent on behalf of the approving
Correct.
authority.
Correct.
That's what I get out of reading.
All right, I'd have to read it.
But as far as, you know, the job and the posting and all that, that's a
Yep.
whole separate issue. I'm just saying,
Right.
as far as Title V and him being able to go out there and perform his job duties,
Okay.
from what I read in that, I don't think there's anything stopping him from going out and witnessing these perk tests. It'll be beneficial to us because we don't have to continue to subcontract it out. And it's also beneficial to Gil because
Oh,
Yeah.
it could be a way.
I would
Again.
not do that
That-
until we get an answer.
I'm not saying we have to do that right now, I'm just saying that this.
Well,
that's something
because there are perk forms that have to be filled out that the people that witness for the town give me to back up what the engineer is giving. So I have Vinny always did perk forms. Right now, Jim does the perk forms or Colin does the perk forms, depending on who is witnessing. So he would have to have the ability to do the perk form.
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Which would take what to have?
You'd have to understand the soils and the classifications. I can show you in the office with, that,
The pyramid,
actually, no, where's the
what's
plan
the
that
form
was?
that we had? I thought they gave it back to you.
But that's, what I'm talking about is the technicality of holding the license.
Right.
We could take someone that's licensed and know everything. We could bring someone that's not licensed to know everything. I'm just saying, is the requirement that the license needs to be held in order to witness the perk? I don't think it does, from what I read.
That's how I read it.
So I can, just show you guys. So this is the soil form that Joe Webby has submitted for the plan that you guys just approved, right? This is the form that Colin did this one, I believe. This is the form that they submit.
It's just a simple,
After
it's not
they
a
witness,
state
so-
form, right?
No, it's just no, they've used various forms over the years. This is the one that everybody settled on because it's the most straightforward.
Right, no.
There were others that were far more elaborate.
And this is fine, and this actually, it further supports that what Title V says is, you're there to witness it, to confirm that it was done. It wasn't just an engineer coming and saying, hey, we perked this last
Right.
Wednesday, and this is what it is. But for all of these, the numbers for modeling, where it's called out, the different
Right.
layers of what the depths are.
Right.
And that's all,
the thing
that's all,
that you would need to know in
and
order
that's
to fill that
all
out
typically
properly.
from being involved in them. It's typically something that's agreed on site between the witness, the engineer, and it's okay, and they call it out, and they agree that
Yeah.
if there's any dispute, it's gonna happen at that time. It's
Sure.
not gonna happen when one's submitting one thing and one's submitting the other. It's essentially what you're gonna find is, these are gonna be identical,
Yes.
because they have
They
to,
should be.
they have to go together. But I'm not saying we need to do anything about it right now, I'm just saying that's what made me think of it, that if it's not required, I think we need to maybe start thinking about moving in that direction, if that's what the board wants to
Yeah,
do.
but how do you gain that knowledge that you can't do that just by what? I've gone out and witnessed them. One of the things that I did when I first came on the board was, then he would take me with him on parks.
Yeah.
And in different things, yeah. So,
Well, maybe it's something that
that
they
doesn't
could
mean
be.
that I understand what's going on in terms of what they're looking for, what modeling means. You know what I mean? That's a process.
I mean, my 2 cents on this is, I'm in the position I'm in, but I don't like it. I'm just gonna say that.
you know, I didn't hire Gil. I like working with Gil. It works well. I guess I don't understand why Gil was hired if he didn't have the qualifications for the job description. So the town or the board at that time decided to hire someone who didn't have the qualifications. That's on us. There's no, I mean, you can put all of the contingencies you want on employment, but we're talking years later. And he has been allowed to work and continue to work, and as far as I can tell,
And the other
doing a good
applicant
job.
was an engineer.
So right.
Who was a soil evaluator.
So I guess that's where I get stuck. It's like we're this can has been kicked so far down the road. I don't really know how you hold employment contingent upon this at this point. It's bizarre to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a big conundrum. I get it. There's a job description, and there's, you know, and there's a letter and an agreement that's already 3 years old.
And there was an extension given, and then last year we gave another extension.
I know. I listened to those meetings because it comes up.
I'm sure that Monday morning quarterback, that, you know, at the time that Gil was appointed, I'm sure everyone thought we were going to be in this situation, that it probably would have been discussed further. That, you know, maybe the difficulty of what the exam really is, and, you know, because I agree that it's a very, very tough test. It's science. It's, I know for the most part what I'm looking at when I go out, but I'm not licensed, and I don't know if I could pass it. It's difficult, but yeah, I mean, I don't really know what we do with it. I mean, I think it's just a very small part of this overall job and what we're talking about, that, you know, to really get hung up on it. I think whatever, I think we just got to find a reasonable resolution for it and move on from it, so we can take care of other stuff that's important. I mean, look.
So when, and everybody has, Gil, your results. You can retake the exam without having to retake the class, right?
Yes.
I would be curious, maybe this is a part of the performance appraisal, is that we try to get you to retake the exam, and
Yeah, I had planned on when he finally decided. They'll send out the dates when the exam's going to be redone. So, I mean, it's a very difficult thing. It's become something more serious than it was 5 years ago. It's all becoming science, and these people that it's almost a full semester of geology.
I guess I would.
It's all geology, and it's not like what we deal with every day. What this class and this whole thing is not what we deal with every day. It's septic system siting, and it's become something that health agents just aren't making it. It's all PDIs, you know, and engineers in training and stuff like that. It's become more and more difficult, and more towns are dealing with the same thing. A lot of towns on the Cape are dealing with the same thing. You've got people, you know, they're actually waiting. There's some towns saying just the heck with it, and subbing out like we are, and that's part of our growth here, because we've got a lot of stuff coming down the pike, and this is what I wanted to talk about in my report, along with this other thing here. I know I've been doing it so long, and I think we're going to find out that it should probably, most of some contractors, because we've got so much stuff coming down. Like Hanson is going to get blasted in the next couple of months here. This is what part of my report is. We know that fishing trails have started, building fishing trails. That's major septic systems there. Riddle is getting ready to start his project. which is a totally enormous project. And that's what I was, talking to Kevin about. I think that project is so huge, and the system that's going in there is one of the far most advanced Presby systems. And it's actual, each building is going to be dumping directly into sanitary manholes. That project's got over 17 sanitary manholes in there. And then it's going to be collected into the septic tank, 2 septic tanks. 8,000 gallon, 4,000 gallon septic tank, and then we have a 2,000 gallon pump chamber pumping to a force. So it's a big project, it's complicated. And that's one there. We've got Egan's project starting. That's not a 40B project, but you have a huge septic system going there. And we've got so many things going on that, the offices are going to get busy. It's getting busy now as it is. You probably get, in the last 6 months, you probably approved maybe 25, 30 plans. That's 6, 8 months. So all those are stacked. And I think that, part of what's going to take place here in the next few months is that, I don't know, I think more discussion, more workshops as to what we're going to do here. We got a lot of growth. We've got a lot of 40B stuff. If you read my report, which I did not send it to everybody, which I thought I did, most of the month of February was tied up in Depot Village. I spent more time at Depot Village than I spent at home. And it was all written out here. It's become a nightmare over there. It's a nightmare there every other day of police and fire. So I'm sorry I didn't get this out. I thought I did. But if you read the February report, it morphed into March. The big deal is done with McDonald's that time. It takes hours upon hours, to get McDonald's back open again, working there and trying to figure out what was going on because, people that didn't know what was going on finally were able to find a plan and the Board of Health officer had brought over there and it got corrected. But it was hours on end. These things take hours and I think, maybe meet everything and go over some of these things because this is, a lot of things that are happening. And I know, Melissa, you're getting a lot of phone calls on different things. One of the ones I know that you're probably getting bugged about, and maybe I should give you a copy of this, is the bylaw we have for drainage. The Board of Health bylaw is 322, and it's discharged into municipal storm drainage. I got basic.
Bill, can we just stick on to the agenda?
Yeah.
We're way
I'm trying to, yeah. But this is also part of the report.
part of your agent report.
Part of my
Yes,
agent
that's why I was giving you some.
Okay, the spending,
we're way off.
spending stuff. Okay, still working on that. The container person, I emailed him again today, what's going on with that. As far as getting those containers, I'd like to get that going because if we do expand this, swap shop part of containers, we just part of that. So there's 2 containers, he hasn't answered me back again. So that's what we gotta do. We have to concentrate on spending some of this money. What else we had?
You keep saying that. Can you tell me
I was waiting to hear from Todd about that, yes.
when is the money going to go poof and we're not going to have
It's not gonna go poof.
then I don't-
The next amount coming in, they might not give it to us, and then if they don't give it to us, we can't apply for 3 years.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. If we
Yeah.
have a high balance, any money that we've earned in the past year, they will not give us. That's absolutely.
So we have money that will, yes?
So I have an order right here that I just wanted to run by you guys that I'm gonna use RDP funds for, ordering 40 compost bins. All I have to do is sign this, and that's $2,100.
So they gotta see
3,000
activity.
of hazardous waste,
Yeah.
but we still have a lot
Yeah.
of money that
And you-
we've not spent.
You ordered,
It's 15,000, hopefully it gets us a lot of
that
rent.
brings it down quite.
So the activity, and I spoke to
What's the
Todd,
But 40, 50,000, we need to.
It's like 37,000, so that right there is 20 of it. So,
that might say, I haven't talked to Todd since he went
I
to
just-
Boston, talked to DEP representative. who's gonna go to Boston, talk about these balances, I'm not hearing from them again.
And just wanna be thoughtful about how we spend the money. We can't just say, oh, we're gonna spend it, we're gonna spend it.
Well,
It has to
and
be,
also the depot could be $3,000,
Yeah.
right? The hazardous waste depot, it says.
right, that's what we
I
wanna
just
leave
said
at.
3,500.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, I did say that.
But,
Sorry.
no, we have the whole transfer station task force out there that, we wanna save some money for a rainy day. We want to,
We also need to set aside some money for food composting.
Correct.
What we can do, that's something that we need to focus on.
I can order, like, scrap, I think you had mentioned that before,
Tabletop ones.
tabletop scrap as well. I believe this company does that as well, and it's off the state bid list.
that'd be great.
Do you want me to add that in on this? I could email her and, yes? No?
And the other thing is we can find out the company that, I think it's Black Earth is the one, that's taking people in Hanson. I got put on the list. They needed 100 people to sign up.
Yeah, it's like $28
I didn't mean
So that's working.
No, I'm talking so much, so
If I don't mention it right away, it goes, whoo!
just smack me like you usually do.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is coming, and so for people to start getting used to.
So I'll
their
email,
Hanson? Yeah,
I'll email her and add some, I don't know how they come, you have to order in certain,
quantities.
quantities. The compost bins is, 21 is the minimum, so we'll do 40 on those. And then I'll see about the tabletop ones, they're like this, and we
Yeah,
can
it's
order
small.
some of those as well.
So, on the compost bins,
Mhm.
I wanted, under RDP spending, wanted to talk about ordering, because we ran
Oh,
out.
yeah,
And also wanted.
all I have to do is sign it and send it back and
Right.
they'll ship them.
We did this weekend. I also want to make sure, Gil and I spoke about it, that we're using the correct process so that we can account for payments and the bins that are coming in and going out. Teresa needs to know that, so basically what happened, Chris called this weekend and said that he had gotten books of paper from Gil.
Notes from when I was
notes.
busy, I wrote the 2
Saying
notes.
that there were someone had paid for compost bin and they went to Chris with it.
And he didn't have any.
He didn't know, well, no, he just didn't, that's not the process. The process is that Teresa generates a formal letter saying that they paid
Right.
for the compost
Yes,
bin
yes.
and that,
Yes, that's what she's always done.
So I just want to make sure it's important for our office to keep credible and to have a proper accounting of what comes in and what goes out. Let's stick with that process, all of us going forward. Even though I know it was a well-intentioned.
And I have a question. Does Chris then return that back to her?
No,
So, and that's part of the problem, is that
No.
she's not gonna know.
no.
No?
The person comes in here,
Yes,
pays,
yes,
I write them up something,
yes.
which Gil is gonna start doing as well,
Right,
because he has access to it.
right.
I know.
Okay,
And then they bring the letter, it's already been paid for.
okay.
And the
But how
letter
do we
is-
keep track of inventory if
So
nobody's paying
at our
attention?
meeting in February,
Yep,
it is in the minutes that Chris was gonna let us know when we were down to 3 bins,
and that didn't happen.
and it did not happen.
Well, in his defense, 4 of them went out four went out this weekend. So if he had 4.
Okay,
he
I wasn't
down
aware
to
of that.
3.
So
Okay.
then maybe we, in the future, when we get down to 5, we reorder, not wait
So
till.
the last time I ordered 20, and that was in 2021. So now we're ordering 40, so it'll be a while. I
A
would
lot of
imagine.
people, a lot of people got a lot more interested in it during the,
Could be. Yeah, when there was nothing else.
pandemic,
to
was
do,
nothing
yeah.
to do.
Right, yeah,
And let's hold off on adding it to the kiosk,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
or did you look into it?
No, I have
We
the
have to
software
keep
on my
track of it
computer.
for the state.
Because I have to update any prices or anything, so I have to go in and fiddle with the software, for that.
All right,
But I wouldn't do it until we had them anyways, because they come from Canada.
Let's wait.
So the lead time is like almost a month. So we won't have any.
And do we have to be able to prove to the state that we're selling them at $25 each and
No,
the quantity, no?
no,
They don't ask
no,
for
because it's off the bid list, and this is the only company I've ever ordered from.
Okay.
This is the 3rd time I think we've ordered from them,
All right.
so.
And then the food inspections.
Yeah.
So I asked to put this on under the agent report in part because I would really like this to come back to our office and stop contracting out. Or,
I saw some, that on the warrants we signed today.
yeah,
And we had had this conversation about a month ago, and I thought maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and said it wasn't going to be an issue for another 4 months. And that's not the case. That's
Yeah.
ongoing.
So, I can tell you exactly how many have been done. I think there are some on my floor that she must have thrown them underneath the door.
Because we just signed warrants for
So-
August 6th.
Mm-hmm. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There are 19 that have not been done, but there are some on the floor in the office that she must have thrown under the door after the meeting started.
And that's not including the ones that.
Right, because
We signed
anytime those come in, I go through and
Then
I
you would update them.
update when the last time
All right,
they
so
were
there was
done.
at least 6 in the warrants for tonight, in your folder.
yes, I saw that. Actually, it was 10. We signed in the warrant for 10.
10
It was about
inspections?
$500 worth
Okay.
of inspections.
Mm-hmm.
So,
At least.
I'm not hearing a very compelling reason why we don't bring those back in-house now and have you doing them.
It's, I've done a few of them already. Like I say, did the Lynn's opening. We had the issue with Dunkin' Donuts Speedway. I've been in there. Looking at that issue, that started off as a complaint, and then it got into being an inspection. So the inspection for Speedway and Dunkin' Donuts, other than doing that once we get them reopened. There's 2 there, there's 3. We've gone into other places.
Gil, I feel like the question asked is, like, is there a compelling reason for them not to come back in-house? Meaning that you do them, they come from our office.
That's, I'm doing my best out there. I mean, it's like I've explained, it's a 35-hour position. You take the 4 hours away on Friday, and you get 31 hours. And we've got so many projects going on in Hanson. I'm doing, the best I can. I am, doing most of the food stuff, getting the rats under control. And then in different areas, I've made restaurants, 2 places, replace their dumpsters. Dumpsters are very important to the food inspection, and really worked hard with that. The owner of Indian Head Plaza has replaced one of his dumpsters. Speedway brought in a new dumpster there, and
Are you saying that you don't have time to do the food inspection?
I'm trying to get more into it.
So what is different between pre-pandemic, because you were doing them all then, and now?
Well, she was doing them. Okay, when I got on.
She was doing them?
Yeah.
So you've never done them all?
Not all of them. Done all the ones. In fact, there's a couple of them we're going to eliminate. We have. Staying on the food stuff. A couple of these we're going to eliminate the inspections. Went into United Church of the Firstborn and Mount Ponce. They will not be allowed. They will not be allowed food license. I've been there a couple of times. I spoke to the pastor. They have a very small kitchen there, and we have a person they're allowed to stay in the church, and a person will not. So that kitchen will not be allowed to have a food license.
So in other
So
towns,
there.
in other towns, do the health agents do the food inspection?
Some of them, but not all.
No.
Like Pembroke has so many restaurants, they have 3 different people. That makes sense. So it goes out to.
Yeah, I think it depends on the
Depends
number.
on the town.
Do we know what the capacity,
Yeah.
average capacity is? Like,
For the people that I know, they do food inspections. Unless it's like Pembroke. Lisa Devlin couldn't keep up with 100 restaurants that they
Does
have.
she do any?
I don't think she does any. All, it's delegated out to 3 people.
She's got 3 inspectors right now.
But she's got hundreds of restaurants,
Yeah.
food, stores and stuff. I can find out.
Yeah, we're trying to trim down the inspection as far as, there's a couple more places that, will not be getting licensed. And,
Do you want to get this?
I'm not,
Like, I just,
I'm not leaving, I'm keeping my hand in this and doing as much as I can with it. I think, myself personally, the food inspections are very important. And, we've got, not to keep babbling on here, but there's so many other things you're reading for it. The amount of time I've spent in a Depot Village, it took almost the whole month of February and part of the month of March. So, we're having a meeting tomorrow at, Speedway Dunkin' Donuts, to try to resolve that situation. When that situation resolved, then I'll do the inspections, both, even if you want Dunkin' Donuts and Speedway. So hopefully by tomorrow, that situation will be resolved. And, but there's so many things happening in this town, and it's very hard on the hours I work. I mean, the Tuesday night hours I have, I put in during the day. In those hours, I work during the day. A lot of inspections on my own during the morning hours and at night. I'll do separate inspections, go on the hood, stuff like that. We're coming into a very busy part of the year here, and that's why I think meeting and let's workshop and talk about this stuff. Because it's coming to Hanson. I think we should.
This is where we talk about it.
Right, and in the past, the health agent has done all the food inspections. We didn't hire out. We only started doing that when we didn't have a health agent. That was the only time that was ever.
Anybody
And
else?
we got like 180 housing units coming in Hanson right now. And 40Bs, and the 40Bs are problems. So the people are problems. And that's part of the learning curve we're going to learn. We're going to learn about 40Bs. We're going to learn about the project that Ritter's going to pin. It's 20.
So we're on food inspections. Any
Yes.
other thoughts or comments on the food inspection issue?
If that's something that the board thinks should move in that direction, that, we should start be doing them in-house. I mean, maybe that's something where we, just to go back to the soil value, I think maybe that's something we kind of coordinate with that there's some give and take, that maybe that's something we continue to subcontract out, and that's something we start doing in-house.
Yeah.
Just something to discuss in the future, that's just made me think of it.
I think it's hard for me to keep peeling away layers of someone's job. And we're talking about food inspection, soil evaluator piece. I get a little stuck on, right. I mean, there are two parts of the job, and I think something has to give. We can't keep peeling away and contracting out.
Question, so as far as being qualified to do the food inspections, you're fully qualified that you can do that? So that's something that could be done.
So, like, efficiency-wise, I think that's another, I'm hearing a little bit of that, like, efficiency-wise, maybe it would be helpful for you and I to sit down and think about, like, how to make.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, we've got to sit down and talk about some of these things. There's no question in my mind about this. We got things coming down the pipe here, and
Right.
I think we should workshop some of this stuff, tell you the truth.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
Send it out.
No.
So, workshop, I don't know what workshop means, but
Workshop is a meeting when we get together and put our minds together to how to do a workshop. And I think that's important for some of these things that are coming down the pipe to the town of Hanson. The town of Hanson has never seen anything like this before. We're heading into it. So,
all right. Anything else?
I'll stop talking for now.
All right.
you want, I'll share these with you after.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
Nope, nothing else.
Oh, I was
in
gonna
there?
ask, motions, what I was gonna ask.
But,
No, I don't think
I move that we, adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry.